Welcome to the Airbnb Roadmap, the podcast designed to navigate you through the entire journey of short-term rental success. Whether you're just starting out or ready to take your hosting game to the next level. My husband and I became super hosts within just months of launching our first Airbnb and have proudly kept that title ever since. With over 350 reviews and an overall 4.95 star rating, we picked up a hack or two I'm excited to share with you. In each episode, I break down the strategies, insights, and industry secrets that set profitable short-term rentals apart. From choosing the right property, understanding local regulations, and obtaining your listing to go beyond just the basics. I'm here to share everything you need to succeed. So if you're ready to map out your path to Airbnb success and unlock the full potential of short-term rentals, join me on the Airbnb Roadmap. Your journey starts here. Hey, I'm Brittany Wenninger from Porch Realty, powered by Real Broker LLC, and welcome back to another episode of the Airbnb Roadmap podcast. Life update. Honestly, I can't really think of one. The only thing I can think of is I had to spend some time at one of our cabins to do quite a bit of maintenance, and that kind of is what brought me to this whole episode of maintenance. And you can have the coolest Airbnb ever, but it's going to be a maintenance headache. I might have a little bit of a nasally voice today just because, baby Melanie got us sick once again. It definitely hit Clay a lot harder than I did. I woke up at 3 a.m. and Clay, let's just say he was in the bathroom not feeling the best. I was like, oh wow, I hate to admit this, but back in the day, if you woke up to someone sick in the bathroom, it's probably because they drank too much and they got the spins or whatnot. Or at least that's what happened with me and my friend group. And, when I met Clay, we always went out. When I woke up from hearing him sick in the bathroom, I literally was like, oh my gosh, did we go out last night? And I hate that was my very first thought. I was like, wow, did we go out? I don't remember anything. And I was like, oh wait, no, I did not go out last night. I was at home with Melanie and he was just sick, legit sick, not hungover, just sick. And I hate to admit that was the first thing that came into my mind of oh wow, did we actually go out? Ugh. But yeah, so that's going around. I have a little bit of a nasally voice, but it's all good. I'm powering through it. Having a nasally voice is not the worst thing, knowing what Clay is going through right now. So I'm just going to take this for a win. Also, the next episode, I'm really debating if I want to do this or not. And I'm still trying to figure it out. Is if I want to record the next episode in Mexico. So we are going to a all-inclusive. It's called Riviera, that's the town. What's it called? Oh my gosh. El Dorado Generations. So we went there last year. It was absolutely amazing. And last year I was pregnant. This year, obviously not pregnant. Melanie's actually going to go with us. So I'm really excited for her to feel the ocean, and it's going to be salty. She's going to hate it. But I want her to feel the sand, feel the ocean, feel nature. So I'm really excited about that. And honestly, just an all-inclusive is just awesome. You wake up, you eat. You go to bed, you eat. You just eat all the time. You do all these fun excursions and all that stuff. And last year, I didn't really get to do that many excursions just because, since I was pregnant, they're like, oh, you can't do anything, which was kind of annoying. Just because I'm one of those people, I did not, and I feel bad saying that, but I never took pregnancy as an excuse. And if I wanted to do something, I was going to do it. Pregnant or not pregnant, I was going to do it. So there were so many times that during our last trip to Mexico that they're like, oh, sorry, you can't do this, you're pregnant. And I was like, wait, what? Did not like that answer. And I will admit, So we went to one of these like amusement parks. I forgot what it's called, but it's pretty much like an amusement park. There's animals that you can check out. There's excursions that you can do within the amusement park. I swam with dolphins. That was really cool. I did kind of have to protect my belly because dolphins are obviously very smart. And I heard from a grapevine that if you are pregnant, dolphins can actually like hear that, like hear the noises in your stomach underwater, and they might be a little bit more aggressive toward you. Not like, hey, you're pregnant, I want to be aggressive toward you, but it was more of like a motherhood, like they want to kind of like bond with you, but they could be a little bit aggressive because they just like didn't know like their strength. So I had to be a little bit careful with that. I did it. I was perfectly fine. Everything was all good. The dolphins loved me. I was honestly like a little afraid of them, but it's all good. Now, the thing though is that there's another excursion that you literally wear a life jacket and you float down a river. And it's not like, it's probably man-made, but it doesn't feel like it's man-made. There is like trees all around. There was fishes in there. It was really, really cool. There was like monkeys like going above us. And I put on the life jacket, go down the path, and the woman that's working there, she's like, "Hi, ma'am, are you pregnant?" And at the time I was showing, but I wasn't like large. And I just literally looked at her straight up and I was like, "Nope, I'm just fat." And then I just walked by. And she just like looked at me and she's like, So I was just like getting really frustrated because, like, number one, I could still swim at that point of pregnancy. Number two, just because I was pregnant does not mean I can't float with a life jacket. So I legit just told her, I was like, "No, I'm fat. Like, let's just mosey on." But this year I'm really excited because I can do the snorkeling and I can do the underwater hike and all these like really cool excursions that we were going to do, but they said, "Oh, you're pregnant, you can't do it." So this year I'm doing it. Grandma's gonna come with. She is babysitting while Grandpa's also gonna come with, but like Melanie just loves Grandma, so yeah. Anyways, that was a huge ramble about, I guess, like the life update, which wasn't really an update. It was just kind of like, hey, we're going to Mexico next week, so I might do a podcast episode during Mexico, or I might do it right before Mexico. I don't really know, so we'll see. But anyways, today we are talking about something that is not so sexy, but is so important, and that is Airbnb maintenance. I see listings all of the time with arcade games, saunas, hot tubs, golf simulators, movie theaters, you name it, they have it. And yes, those things are absolutely, like, they absolutely drive your ADR up. That is average daily rate. People love them and they book them. They photograph beautifully and they make your listing shine. Like, literally, no question about that. But what no one talks about, and I think that this is a crazy thing, no one talks about the maintenance headache that comes along with all of this. They just brag to say, "Hey, I have a golf simulator and I have a hot tub and a sauna in one Airbnb. How awesome is that?" But like, what's the maintenance with that? That sounds like a huge headache. And honestly, it kind of sounds like a scare of, hey, your hot tub isn't working, and that's the only reason why your guest booked. Now it's a 4 or 3-star review because that one amenity that they loved does not work. I will admit, the Airbnb that we just launched has a movie theater, and it has a game room, and it has a sauna and a gym. I was a little nervous to do that because all of our other Airbnbs are very maintenance-free headaches. This one has it dialed up a little bit more with the maintenance, and it does make me a little bit nervous because all of that needs to align and it needs to work. And here's the honest truth. The more fancier your Airbnb gets, the more things can break. Literally, every single amenity you add is another thing that guests can touch, they can misuse, they can unplug, or load, or accidentally break. Guests are not doing this on purpose most of the time. Keyword, most of the time. They are just using your home. Like literally, they are just using your home. So while a hot tub might add $75 to $150 extra per night to your ADR, it also adds weekly water testing, chemical balancing, filter changes, pump failures, heating issues, and literally the guest messages at 9 p.m. saying, oh, the hot tub isn't heated, or oh, the hot tub is dirty and the water is brown. All of this adds a huge headache. And also, another thing, if you're close to neighbors and you have a hot tub, most of the time people go into hot tubs later at night. And that means that your guest noise level might increase later than you want that to happen. So at one of our Airbnbs, and this isn't the one that we just launched, but I think, well, this is our second Airbnb. We had arcade games. I thought arcade games would be so cool to have in this Airbnb. I've seen other Airbnbs have arcade games, and I was like, what can go wrong? It's an arcade game. Usually they don't break. This company that we went through, it had a 3-month warranty. Always think, like, if anything, any company has a 3-month warranty, you know that's probably not the best quality, because why won't they do a 3-year warranty or, a 10-year warranty or something? Like, why wouldn't they warrant the device even more? So a 3-month warranty, we should have took that as a hit. Now, these arcade games, we had Big Buck Hunter because we're in Wisconsin. Hey, why not? And then we also had a racing one. My personal favorite, I love car race games. Now, the problem is that one of the guns on the Big Buck Hunter, it broke. And I was like, oh, that's annoying. So we had to get replacement, whatever. And then the second gun didn't work. And it wasn't really the gun issues. It was it wasn't calibrating correctly. So then the whole device was all jacked up. When people see an arcade game in your profile photos, they're excited about it. They are booking it because they want their kids to play that arcade game. And when there's a big sign that says out of order, that just makes a negative guest experience overall. So that arcade game took a crapper. And then all of a sudden, of course, the racing game took a crapper. We literally had these arcade games for maybe 6 months, 8 months, like not that long. And they were a huge maintenance headache. And I would not ever expect an arcade game to be a huge maintenance headache, and they were. What we ended up doing was getting rid of those. We sold it to some guy on Marketplace that actually buys broken arcade games. Kind of weird, but whatever. He buys them, fixes them up, and then sells them again. And honestly, probably the fixing part is not that hard because they're all pretty standard. So, I don't know, he has a good business going on. We took his money so he could make money. But anyways, we ended up selling them because it was just, they were broken. We couldn't fix it. Clay did hours and hours of research on how to fix these damn things. Couldn't figure it out. So we sold it, and then now we have a foosball table. But guess what? That foosball table has no maintenance to it. No electronics. So yeah, one of those little figurines could break, but whatever. So that's what we actually ended up doing because I was just so over this maintenance headache with the arcade games. Now, let's just go back and talk about the popular high maintenance amenities that people love to put in their Airbnbs. So the very first one, well, let's just do a quick list. We have the hot tub, sauna. We also have arcade games, which we just talked about. Well, I'm definitely reading off of a piece of paper. And golf simulators. So for the hot tubs, like I kind of mentioned above, hot tubs are probably the biggest offender of just being, a high maintenance. And that kind of includes pools as well. But a pool, if you buy a house with a pool, you're already committed to this maintenance part of the pool. Now, a lot of people buy Airbnbs or buy a property and add hot tubs. They absolutely boost the bookings like crazy, but they require constant attention. You need to like change the water all the time, chemical checks, filter cleaning, cover replacement. Like I already listed all this stuff, and it's just, do I think that a hot tub is absolutely worth it? Personally, I don't. Because do I love going to an Airbnb with a hot tub? I do. I also think it's kind of gross when I go into a public hot tub. I don't really think it's gross like in a hotel, but at an Airbnb, I do think it's a little gross just because I know that it's not like, for a hotel, they have people that check up on that stuff all the time. Airbnbs, you don't know if they do and if they don't. And when it comes to hot tubs, people book that Airbnb because of the hot tub most of the time. And I just saw one of my clients, he had a hot tub. Well, not had, but he has a hot tub. He purposely bought the hot tub to increase his ADR. Well, the third guest that checked in, guess what? The water was brown. That's because he is having a handyman, which is kind of weird. He's having his handyman go there, what we thought, every other weekend or every other week to put the chemicals in and all that stuff. And when the handyman told me that he was going to go every other week to do all this stuff, I was like, that doesn't seem right because one, you need to add chemicals after every single usage of the hot tub. And two, if someone, let's say, pukes in the hot tub, he's not going to know until a week later. So when we did talk to our, like the owner of the property, the actual client, he's like, oh no, he needs to be going there after every single guest stay. And I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. So there was some miscommunication there. We got it figured out, but still, like, we pretty much had to refund this woman a night stay because that's why she went there, was because the hot tub, and the hot tub was brown. There wasn't chemicals added after someone else's use, and honestly, that's just gross. So that was like a huge eye opener of like, hot tubs are cool, but are they really worth it? Now, saunas. We did just install a sauna in the newest Airbnb. Am I really excited about it? I am. I personally have a sauna in our house and we use it all the time. We use it right after a good workout and it's just nice to just kind of like debrief from it. The one thing I hate about them, and not really about them, but like the one thing I do hate is that you can't go into a sauna when you're pregnant. So like that really sucks, that if and when I do get pregnant again, I can't go in there. And I couldn't go in there last year because I was pregnant and I was like, oh, come on. Like, I just love a good sauna. But anyways, they are amazing for wellness properties. They are. They also are electrical. Like, they are a electrical equipment. Heating elements fail. Guests pour water where they shouldn't. And that's if you have one of those, like, saunas that you do pour water, or you have a sauna that, just click buttons. That's cool too. The doors get damaged. You need someone there that actually understands a sauna repair, and not every handyman does. Now, I knew about all these like quote unquote scares for saunas, but I ordered this same brand as the one that we have in our basement. I mean, I'm really happy with it. So I think it's going to be just fine. The one thing I did realize is that this one, because it's bigger, there are little different controls, and trying to figure out how to turn on the light in the sauna is a little complicated. Like, you have to like push the light button, and then when that certain color pops up, then you have to push it again. There's no instructions that says like how to do that. That I can see guests kind of getting frustrated with that, but at the end of the day, you push on, it heats up to 140 degrees, you sit in it, you sweat, you close the door, whatever, and then you leave. Now, some saunas do require like a higher voltage. This one didn't, but there are saunas that do. So you want to make sure that your voltage is correct where you actually want to place the sauna. That's just a little tip and trick for you. Now, arcade games, we already talked about this. Things break. I first-handedly figured out all of the shenanigans about an arcade game. That's why whenever we do provide games, we provide a ping pong table, we provide foosball, air hockey. And air hockey, that one could break, but we did get an older version. I feel like old stuff just like they last longer, and this one is an older version, so I'm hoping that it stays alive. Fingers crossed, but we do know that it might break eventually because it's in the electrical equipment. So we also have a wall four square? No, four squares on the ground. Connect Four, a wall Connect Four. We don't have a pool table, but I would highly consider one. The only fear about pool tables is that people will actually put holes in the walls if the room isn't big enough. Unfortunately, we haven't had a large enough room to put a pool table in there, and actually, false. The Airbnb that we just launched, we were considering having a pool table. But when I was looking at Marketplace, they were still like $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. And then all these people are like, you have to take it out of our basement. Or it was pretty damaged. Or, hey, you have to take it out of the basement and then also cut it in half because it can't get out of the basement. Like, it was just so many like shenanigans of like, hey, give us $2,000 and then also take it out yourself. Like, sorry, we're not going to help. So I just said F it. And then we got a nice ping pong table, which I feel like ping pong tables are nice for like smaller kids and adults. And honestly, if someone wants to play like beer pong on it, that would be the table. Because one of our rentals, someone played beer pong on our nice dining room table that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And you know what? Not cool. Thanks. So this is a designated table for your beer pong shenanigans. Anyways, going on to the golf simulator. I take a deep sigh because golf simulators are cool. They are. They are extremely high end and they are extremely sensitive. Calibration issues are one of the number one worst things for golf simulators. There's also a lot of software updates and sensor errors and projector problems. Like, there's a lot that can go on with these things. This is definitely not something that you can set up and then just forget. And that's pretty much what you need for Airbnb. You need to be able to set it and forget it. Golf simulators are not one of those amenities. I've also seen I should not crack up about this. I've also seen someone that had a golf simulator. I looked behind the golf simulator. There was so many holes in the drywall. They did not put padding at all behind the golf simulator. And there was just massive holes. So they didn't really do it well at all. They definitely just said like, hey, let's put a golf simulator up. It's going to look cool in the photos. And guess what? It's ruining their house, like literally ruining their house. Now, with a movie theater, that was not on my list, but I'm going to talk about it. Movie theaters are also, they provide maintenance. And we have a movie theater in our newest Airbnb. And honestly, we already had kind of like a maintenance issue with that. And it's not with the projector, but we actually put a Roku stick in the projector. And I got a call a couple days ago from a guest, and he's like, hey, we really want to watch the Bears versus Packer football game in the movie theater. We think that's going to be so cool. And I'm like, hey, hell yeah, it would be awesome. But the Roku remote wasn't actually like moving any settings on the actual screen. I FaceTimed this guest. I was trying to like troubleshoot with him and I couldn't figure it out. So I think what is happening, we have Roku sticks everywhere in the whole property. The reason why we have Roku sticks is because I firmly believe in Roku TVs. Well, during the Black Friday sale, it wasn't really for sale. Like, these Roku TVs were like really jacked up in price and there was like a limited amount of them, but the Fire TVs were really dirt cheap. And I was like, you know what, we could just put the Roku sticks in them. It's going to be all good. Well, I didn't realize that the remote pairs up with the stick. So I think all of these remotes, and there's like 5 remotes around the house, I think all of these remotes are all jumbled up. And that's why the remote's not working for that actual TV that they want that to work on. So I'm actually going to go there, not just because of that, but to go I need to do a lot of things at that property. We have someone checking in for 3 months. I want to make sure that there is enough hangers, that he has a hamper, he has an iron because he already mentioned that. So I'm not just going just because of that. But this guy couldn't watch the Packer game in the movie theater because he couldn't figure out which remote was going to that Roku stick. So that was just like a very random maintenance issue that I was not expecting whatsoever. I was like, this is so dumb proof. But yet here we are, the remote isn't working. So I gotta figure that one out. Now, that being said, that the easier that you make things, like the more dumb proof you make things, the easier your life will be. I was at one of our properties not too long ago, and that one is honestly very maintenance free. We don't have that much electrical devices that could mess up and ruin someone's stay. However, we have had back to back to back reservations for 3 months. It's awesome. I love it. Except it doesn't really provide us that much time to go in and do just random maintenance repairs as the guests check in and check out. Most of the check in, check out, or I guess turn days are on the weekdays. My husband has a full-time job. I do too, guys. I do too. But my schedule is a lot more flexible than his, and I can go up there during the day and do some maintenance stuff. Now, there's just so many random things. We have a chain, and again, super random. We have a chain, and someone unlinked one. I don't even know how to explain this. They unlinked one of the loops to take a piece of this chain, and this chain is on a staircase. And I was like, why would you do that? That's so random. So I had to fix this chain. I also had to fix our electric fireplace. Someone said that the light bulb was out. Cool, I replaced that. Another thing I had to do was add new batteries for our thermostat. It's out in the country, so we do have some mice, so I had to check all the mice traps. There was some crazy situation with our charcoal grill. There was a couple lids around. I was like, that's really weird. We have a very old charcoal grill behind the shed that was the older one. Someone found it, grabbed that lid, and put it on top of the other lid. It was just a lot going on. Also, our fire pit, someone took all the burnt logs and put it around the fire pit. They didn't keep it in the fire pit. They put it around the fire pit. And I was like, why would you do that? What else was there? A couple of our chairs broke, so I had to repair that. A trim piece came off, so I had to repair that. One of our bar stools that broke, so I had to swap it out for a different one. It was just a lot of random stuff. And that just kind of shows that you can really dumb proof your Airbnb and try to make it as maintenance free as possible. But if you have back to back to back reservations for a solid 3 months, shit's gonna get broken. Random stuff will get broken, and you need to go there and do maintenance. Now, those properties that have golf simulator, sauna, cold plunge, movie theater, hot tubs, you have to hire a part-time handyman to always go there and make sure that something that everything's working. And I've never experienced that. All of my properties are pretty low maintenance. I do that on purpose. But for those big fancy resort style Airbnbs, that is just another added cost of having a part-time maintenance person. And I'm always wondering, yeah, those photos look amazing, but once you actually get on the property, how many of those items are actually working? And then you are 100% at risk of your 5-star review because you promised the world and then delivered nothing. I shouldn't say nothing, but delivered not that much. So at the end of the day, maintenance is a huge, huge thing. And it will give you a headache at 9 p.m. It will give you a headache at 2 p.m. or at 7 a.m. So you need to ask yourself, do you want to have a crazy, crazy, crazy cool Airbnb and it feels like a resort, and deal with all that shenanigans and have that ADR? Or do you want to have a less maintenance free, and I shouldn't say maintenance free, but less maintenance in your Airbnb, have your ADR not as much, and not deal with all that headache? I personally like option 2 because I still love my life, and I feel like if I have all that maintenance shenanigans, I'm not going to like Airbnb anymore. And that's just the honest truth. Like, I don't spend that much on our properties because we don't have such a crazy amount of maintenance. And I want to keep it that way. So in order to do so, I don't have the golf simulators. I don't have the hot tubs. I do have the sauna, and I do have the movie theater. And I don't think that will be that bad. But these are all just things that you need to just consider. So if you have any questions, let me know. We are also still doing the launch party. It's still July. No, it's not even July. It's January, guys. Oh my gosh. Still January. The launch party is still happening. You can get $100 off of the course and hundreds of dollars off the mentorship program. If you... Oh my goodness. I just sneezed on the podcast. Oh, I told you I'm kind of getting sick, guys. If you are curious and interested in the course, let me know. I can send you the link, or you can see the links in the show notes. It's really good. It's really cheap. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, I think that we need to advertise this more, but there's a way to get the course 100% free. And that is, you purchase the course, and then you buy your very first Airbnb or your second or third Airbnb with an agent that I recommend. Now, you close on your first, third, whatever Airbnb, we will refund you the course 100%, and that is our way of saying congratulations, you actually did what you are set out to do. So again, purchase the course, I send you a couple agent referrals, and you close with one of those agents, and then boom, you get your course 100% free. How awesome is that? So we are literally rewarding you for doing what you want to do, and that is get your own Airbnb property. So if you have any questions about that, you know how to reach me. Till then, I might see you in Mexico, or I might just do it the day before we leave. Who knows? I guess it'll be a surprise. See you then. Thanks for joining me on the Airbnb Roadmap. If you're loving these episodes and want to keep the conversation going, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who's ready to dive into the world of short-term rentals. Got a question or topic you would love to hear about? Reach out. This podcast is all about learning and growing together. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the Airbnb Roadmap Podcast, for more tips, tricks, and behind-the-scene insights. Until next time, here's to turning your short-term rental dreams into thriving realities. I'll see you back here soon.